everybody, welcome back to my channel. It has been a while. I have not made a video in a few weeks, and it's been even longer since I've done a Bronze Age price update. So things have just been really busy around the home and with work. So we're going to get right to it. We've got a lot to go through because I think it's been 4 months since I've done a Bronze Age price update. So a lot of data to go through. Let's get into it. Here's how we do it. I use GPA data, only Blue Label Universal data. I include sales from 2020 all the way through July 2025. So over 5.5 years of data. And the reason I do that is because I want to look at prices prior to COVID and prices now, right? So the big spikes, through COVID and all the correction that's been going on since then, and how are books doing today. And I include grades that have at least one sale in 2020 and at least one sale in either June or July. So I always want the last sale to be within 2 months of current day. All right. So now that July is over, we can use all that data as well. Okay. First book up, Amazing Spider-Man 129. So when we left off in March, this book averages just under $3,000. Okay. 4 months of data to go through. Let's see what happened. April, down a little bit. May, up a little bit. June, up a little bit. And July up a little bit as well. So overall, this book is up, not by much, right? Went up about, $25 or so. 1%, so a very modest increase. But when you look at this book overall, you see, right, the last 9 or 10 months, it is on a slow increase. And I think this has something to do with, I'm guessing this has something to do with the fact that Jon Bernthal is reprising his role as the Punisher. And he's going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day, probably among other things as well, but he's definitely going to be in the Spider-Man movie. That has been confirmed, and there's a lot of excitement over that. So on average, this book is up 1%, but I always like to look at the individual grades as well. So how have the grades done over the past 4 months? So here you go. So a mix of grades going up and grades going down. So again, anything in red, the grade has gone down compared to 4 months ago, and I think March was our last data point, right? And then if you see green, the grade has gone up since then. So definitely a mix, but we have more grades going up than down, right? More green than red. So overall, decent for ASM 129. That's a good thing. Will the rest of the Bronze Age keys do the same thing? Let's find out. Go to the next book. Giant Size X-Men #1. First appearance of the new team. We left off in March. This is just under a $5,000 book. Here we go. April came and went. Book went up a lot. Pretty big increase. Then May, book went up again. June, big drop, totally erased the 2 months of previous progress there. And then July, down a little bit more. The book drops a little over $200 on average, so down 5%. And when you look at the grades, it's not good. 4 grades going up, 12 grades going down. So definitely not a good past 4 months for Giant Size X-Men #1. Even that being said, when you look at the last year of data, again, you look over here on the right-hand side, lots of ups and downs, but this book, pretty steady for the past year or so, maybe year plus, even year and a half. So maybe that's a good sign, even though the past 4 months was not good. And remember, when we get into the second half of the year, first half of the year is usually stronger than the second half of the year. That's been the traditional comic book industry hobby. Prices are always stronger at the beginning of the year through the May time frame. Then they kind of flatten out a little bit or drop. So maybe that's what we're seeing here. Okay. Nonetheless, that's Giant Size X-Men #1. Let's move on. Marvel Spotlight #5. So first appearance, Johnny Blaze as Ghost Rider. So this is a book we added last time I did this 4 months ago, right? It was his first time being in the video. And this chart overall is just a weird looking chart. A few big ups, a few big downs, but in general, a lot of stability, right? Just very little ups and downs. So let's go. $4,500 book in March. Let's see what April did. April down again. May up. June, big drop. And July dropping again. This book drops, geez, it's over $800. And that's a 19% drop. But when you look, here are the individual grades. There is more green than red, and this is why I show it both ways. Because the grades at the top obviously are always the most expensive grades, right? And they sometimes, 2x, 3x, 10x, some of the lower grades. And that's really driving the average here. So more grades going up than down, but there is still this correction going on with the higher grades because, as we know, as some of these higher grades become more available, as more submissions go into CGC, we're going to see more corrections at those higher grades. Whereas previously, and this isn't really a super easy to find book in high grade, but the census is increasing and those higher grades, we're just seeing it correct more. So more grades are increasing on this book, but overall, the top grades are driving the average down. All right. And if you look, it's ugly. Even with the exception of these past 4 months, right? Marvel Spotlight #5 has not had a good year. All right, moving on. 2 more books to go. Let's do the King of the Bronze Age, Incredible Hulk 181. First appearance of Wolverine. If you look at the last year or so, yes, it's still on a downward trend, but ever so slightly. All these months in here, the past 12 months or so, very little ups and downs, not a ton of volatility. So there's some stabilizing going on the prices for sure. So it's just over a $9,800 book in March. Let's see what happened. April, down. May, a little bit up. June, big drop. July, about even. This book drops a little over $800, down 8%. Not good for Hulk 181. And looking at the individual grades, total bloodbath here. 3 grades going up. I think 12 grades going down or so. Not good, very ugly. The high grades, the low grades, the middle grades, almost everything is going down. The only ones that went up were by small percentages. So Hulk 181 is a very available book, right? The census increases dramatically each week on these books, or each month, depending on how you look at the data. Just a lot. Even in the high grades now, 9.8s, 9.6s. Those grades are typically the ones that are harder to crack, right? But it's very clear that when people are buying this book, they're looking for a deal that's better than the last price, or better than the 30-day average, or better than the 90-day average, because there are so many of them out there. People just have to be patient, and you're going to get a price that's better. The problem is the following month, the price gets even lower. That's what we keep seeing here. So not a good trend for Hulk 181. The downward trend continues for sure. No argument here, right? There's no way you can debate it. All right, let's move on to the last book. So I added this one many months back, but I think this is only the 3rd video maybe where I had House Secrets 92. I wanted to add in a Bronze Age horror book just to mix up the genres a little bit. We know the Marvel superhero big keys have been struggling, as we've seen in this video, but Bronze Age horror has been really strong the past couple years in general, picking up. And this one is really no exception. And what I mean by that is, yes, it is still trending down. When you try to flatten out all the ups and downs here, yes, it is also correcting. It's just correcting at a much slower pace. So I guess that's another way of saying it's probably stronger than the superhero books because the correction's been so gradual, but nonetheless, the prices in general are not going up on this book, okay? But let's zoom in and see what happened in the past 4 months. All right, so this was an $1,100 book, $1,104 to be exact. In March, April, went down a little bit. And then in May, huge uptick. June, almost as big of a downtick. And then July, slightly up. Overall, this book is almost the same as it was in March. $5 decrease, so that's less than 1%. Nonetheless, a little bit down from where it was, but you can essentially call it even. And when you look at the individual grades, right down the middle, 4 up, 4 down. So it makes sense, right? This book is, best case staying flat, worst case a very gradual decline that we've been seeing over the past couple years, and that continues here, okay? So then we tally it all up. And when we do that, we take all the Bronze Age books that we've shown here today and all the grades. And when you average these out, it tends to normalize things a little bit and flatten them out. Okay, so let's see what happened. March, 46.64 on average with all these books and all these grades. April, down a little bit. May, up. That's good. June, big drop. July, dropping a little bit more. This book is down almost $400. Not this book. All these books are down $400 almost. That's 8%. Again, hard to argue. The Bronze Age continues to drop. I mean, you look at this, right? 2 to 3 year trend here, and it looks like there's no end in sight. So when we started out the year and I did my video, I did my Silver and Bronze Age videos in, I think it was like April or May, something like that. Both of those videos, the Bronze Age and the Silver Age, were both going up. It was the first time in a couple years that I had a video where I said, guys, prices are going up, and it was really exciting. And now it's gone right back to where it was. So here's the slide that kind of summarizes the ups and downs, right? Just all the grades tallied. So green are the grades going up, red are the ones going down. So when you look at the bottom of the page there, 29 total grades went up, 39 went down. So it pretty much lends itself to what we just saw on that Bronze Age total graph, right? So it's not all bad news because we have a good chunk of grades that are going up, but overall more go down than go up, okay? So that's it. Here we go. Coming soon. These are the books that we just went through, right? And I always talk about coming soon, but I don't know when I'm going to have time to add new books, because when I add new books, you guys, it takes a lot of time, right? It's hard enough doing the updates just, for 3 or 4 months with the books I've already started. But when I add new books, I got to go back 2020 and crunch all that data. But when I do get to them, here are the ones I'm going to bring. Werewolf by Night 32, first appearance of Moon Knight, and then X-Men 94, first appearance of the new team in the title. So I'm excited to show both those books. Will it be the next time I do Bronze Age? I hope so. I hope I at least bring in one of these. We'll see. Not a good past 4 months for the Bronze Age, but always put the positive spin on this. It means books are becoming more affordable for people that couldn't afford these things when they were at their height, right? So people have been buying. They've been able to get some of their grails, and some people are still waiting because they know it's going to drop more. And so things are becoming more affordable. That's the good news, right? So call it a spin, whatever you want, but we always got to try and put some positive light on it, all right? That's it. So we've got some great content coming up. I've got some shows I've gone to. I've got some more price analysis, and I've got some comparisons between CGC and PSA coming up. Don't forget, PSA has launched. We're getting some sales. Let's see how they compare to CGC sales, all right? Until next time, have a great day.